What is the main reason you decided to bring some young people onto the trip?
We wanted it to have a charitable element all through the whole project into Eve. So we wanted it to be charitable by giving the gift of the vehicles away in Sierra Leone. We wanted the story, telling the story of sex trafficking in particular, and modern-day slavery out in Sierra Leone. We wanted young people to be at the heart of that, because it's young people that are the biggest victims of modern-day slavery. So if people don't engage with the fact that we're giving charity to Sierra Leone, some of them will engage because we're helping out young people in Britain that have got needs as well.
The furthest I've been is to Scotland. Never been abroad.
Well, Nick's a real lad's lad. He's what you might call a bit of a typical Hull lad. He loves his football, he loves his girlfriend, and he's surprisingly compassionate, though, for a lad's lad. And one of the things he said to me when I first offered him the opportunity of doing this trip was that he can't believe that lads younger than him have been trained to be killers in a war.
I'm going to be a bit scared when I go, but I'll be able to handle it.
And he wants to learn and experience what kind of life it is to be an orphan from somewhere as poor as Sierra Leone.
Oh, cool. What, you're recording?
Kaylee's got a lot to offer this trip because she works as a teaching support assistant in one of the primary schools on Orchard Park, where we both work. And she's looking forward to sending back messages to the young children at her primary school from a sister primary school in Freetown that they're twinned with.
I think I'm going to miss the children from work. Let me show you what they made for me on Friday. How cute. They made me a card telling me they'd miss me.
Kaylee, despite being the oldest young person on the trip in some ways, has probably got the softest nature.
How much fun am I going to have dressing him every day?
Little surfer shorts and little surfer top. I love it.
Well, Ian's very difficult to not fall in love with in a lot of ways. His character is just amazing. And he's really excited because he's never really had the opportunity to what he calls creatively discover himself. And he's dropped out of fashion college and done a few jobs here and there and doesn't really know his future. So he wants to use this trip to explore who he is and who he can be for the world and for himself.
Well, I've even bought proper conditioner so my hair didn't, like, get ruined. Nutricloss.
Just to get his passport photo approved, we took 3 attempts because his hair was too tall and fitted out the top of the picture, or his eyes were too low. And it was a nightmare, and in the end he had to gel his Mohican forward. But he's very much our very own Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, so I think there's going to be a lot of fun had.
When I'm in a mood, I am in a mood. So it's going to be quiet.
This is the bag.
I've always had a bit of a soft spot for Kayla. I've known her since she was 11. I basically worked with her every day, pretty much, until she was about 13 or 14, and she was a proper scallywag back then.
I was an alcoholic. I was really bad on it, but I got out of it. I moved off the estate. I went and lived with one of my friends.
She is one of the success stories of youth work in Hull, basically. With the help of other people supporting her, she's now got herself into a position where she's now helping other young people try and stay out of trouble.
And that's my brother, taking him with me.
Gets into trouble quite a lot, so I'm just worried about that.
I don't want him getting in trouble while I'm away.
Sammy was selected because she'd got a relationship already with some of the young people who'd come from St George's Foundation in Sierra Leone before to Hull. So the opportunity for her to now go back and see how they live after they've seen how she lives was just something that we couldn't really pass up.
I think I'm going to bring a lot to this trip. I'm very musically inclined. I play guitar and I do a lot of singing. I'm hoping there's going to be a lot of opportunities, especially with the African culture. I'd love to do something with African people and the way they do music.
Oh dear.
We found Becca through Ian, and we selected her because she's got a very good story parallel with some of the young people out in Sierra Leone who've lost their parents or lost relatives and family. Becca lost her brother in a car accident a few years ago when he was quite young, and she's still effectively getting over that, but she's also basically lost contact with her mother. She doesn't know where she is, doesn't know what she's doing. So Becca's effectively lost half of her family, which is exactly the case with a lot of these young people in the orphanages. So she was very attracted to the project.
When I first told my dad that I was going to Africa, he just laughed and said yeah, as if like it was just me saying I was going on holiday to Africa or something. And I think he thought it was something I was saying I was going to do, which I wasn't actually going to actually do. But now he's like really proud that I'm going, and he's really interested in everything that I'm doing.
No second thoughts?
No.
I think the selection of the young people has turned out to be really good. you know, the youth of today in Britain and particularly Hull, I think we've got a pretty good cross representation.